Alright, so I know I'm late to the game on this and the GoPro Hero 11 Black is out, but I decided to get the 10 because I got it for a really good deal, and anything from the 9 on up is going to be a really good package. If you're a motovlogger like me, or you just want to get footage of your ride, you're probably trying to decide if you should upgrade from something like the Hero 7 or the 8 up to something like the 9, 10, or even the 11. So I'm coming from a GoPro Hero 7 Black, and I'm really digging the version of this camera. I think GoPro really knocked it out of the park with this one. Something that they changed on this version of the camera that's not on the older cameras is that this one has a front-facing screen on it. So if you're trying to frame yourself, you know, you're doing some vlogging and you have it on a tripod or something like that, you are now able to frame yourself up a little bit better. Some other things are you get some additional frame rates, which is pretty cool, but if you're vlogging on the motorcycle, you typically won't be using higher frame rates to slow your footage down or anything like that. But if you choose to do, you know, something different with your camera, this camera does come with 5K 60 frames per second, and you also get 4K at 120 frames per second, which is pretty cool for, you know, doing some nice slow motion type footage. With the older versions, you had to put them inside of an external case in order to secure them to the mount. With the newer version, it has it integrated into the body of the camera itself, which is pretty cool. Alright, so this is everything that comes in the box. I happened to get the bundle package where I got an additional battery and a tripod. So it was around the same price as getting the standard version. So if you find the bundle package for a pretty good price, I'd go ahead and pick that up. Alright, so we're going to go jump on the bike, and from a motovlogger's point of view, we're going to show you what the quality and the performance of this camera looks like and let you decide from there.
Alright, so we're outside, we're on the bike, we're about to go for a little ride here, and I wanted to show you guys what the camera looks like, you know, while you're riding and everything like that, because for most of you that are buying this or watching this video, you're going to be doing some motovlogging, and you want to see what the camera looks like while you're vlogging and things like that. So, now, it's not that much different from some of your other cameras. I'm coming from a Hero 7 Black, and I mean, I don't know, other than, you know, some of the other resolution features that it has on it and the better hyper smooth and stuff like that, this just gives you a good idea. So we're gonna do a little walk around here of the bike. We got the S1000 right here, and just showing you what it looks like off the bike, and then, you know, we'll jump on the bike and show you what it looks like as well. But yeah, this is my buddy Sam's bike. He's got some new Michelin Road 6s on there. So you can see we got the black, red, and blue graphics going on, the Rizoma mirrors, got some carbon pieces, SC Project exhaust. But yeah, so now you guys have seen what that looks like. We'll jump on the bike, and just so you guys are tracking, I do have a Freewell ND32 filter on here, so I'm running it at 1/148, so, or excuse me, 1/48 for the shutter speed, and that'll give you, you know, kind of like a cinematic look, if you will, but the point of that is to have more motion blur, so it just looks a little better, you know, while you're riding, if you're into that type of thing. If not, you know, you can just run it, you know, regular style, and it'll still look just as good. And we are heading to one of my favorite moto cafes, as always. If you guys are new to the channel and wondering where I'm at and where I've been riding, because you obviously see some of the different language and stuff going on the building and the signs, I am currently in South Korea. But yeah guys, so like I said before, I'm coming from a Hero 7 Black, and I had that camera for quite a while. Never had any issues with it or anything like that, and I was kind of, you know, hesitant to upgrade, but I was like, you know what, it's been a long time, should probably upgrade my equipment and you know, take benefit of some of the new features and stuff that these cameras have to offer. But yeah, like I said, there was nothing wrong with that camera, never had any issues with it. Now, there is the Hero 11 Black that's out now, but the problem with the, come on guy, I'm letting you go. The reason why I didn't go with the 11 was because I was hearing it was having a lot of issues, you know, with the screen freezing up, some other problems and stuff like that. So I just went ahead and went with the 10. And I mean, so far so good. I've used this thing a few times already, and I'm really liking it. Now, what are the key benefits that you're really going to gain from going from something like a 7 or an 8 up to like a 9, 10, or an 11? So my biggest thing is obviously going to be the frame rates that you can film at. So with the previous models, you can only get up to 4K 30, and actually you can do 4K 60 on like the 7 and the 8, which is pretty cool to use. But as a vlogger, you're really not using those higher frame rates, you know, for slow motion or anything like that. You're really only filming in like 24 frames per second or 30 frames per second, you know, filming in real time riding on the bike. But if you plan to do other things with your GoPro besides just use it as a motovlog setup and stuff like that, like I do, then those higher frame rates really do come in handy, and I think that's pretty cool to have on something as small as an action camera. It's crazy because my main camera, my Sony A7 III, can only film up to 120 frames per second only in 1080, and it's crazy that the GoPro can do it in 4K. And it's, so just so you guys are tracking, this thing can do 4K at 120 frames per second, and it can also do 5.3K at 60 frames per second, which is pretty awesome for something in such a small package. And I'll demonstrate some of those here in a second off the bike. But like I said before, the main thing is, what does the quality look like, you know, compared to the other cameras? You know, do you really want to go out and spend the money? I'm gonna say yes. You do if you want those higher frame rates. Yes, it's nice because not only do you have 4K, but you also can film in 5.3K. Is it that much more of a difference? Not really, but it really depends, you know what I'm saying? We primarily view a lot of our footage and stuff like that on a phone, right? But the higher the resolution that you shoot in, whoa, wrong gear. The higher resolution that you shoot in, and then squeeze that down into a 1080, you know, timeline while you're editing, and you know, you may export in 1080 or 4K, that footage is just going to look that much better. So I don't know if you guys could see what I was talking about, but when you're using an ND filter running at a lower shutter speed, you're gonna have more motion blur, like the way that the road looks, the way that, you know, the grass and the signs and stuff like that, how it flows by. It just gives a nice, you know, cool looking feel to it. Man, I hope it's not super windy. This helmet, I've been having some issues with the mic and stuff lately, but you know, it is what it is. All right, so the other thing is the hyper smooth. So the hyper smooth has been improved on this camera. It just keeps getting better and better with each iteration. And I think there was some issues where I was watching some other videos and reading and stuff like that, that with the Hero 10 or even the 9 and up, but specifically the 10, there were some issues using ND filter with the hyper smooth, and that it wasn't going to work right at a lower shutter speed. So I guess it has to run like a higher shutter speed or something like that in order for the hyper smooth to work correctly, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't think that's the case with this. I think if you decide to use a ND filter on this GoPro with the hyper speed on set to standard, I think you're still going to be fine. I know that was my biggest worry when I was getting this camera. I was like, man, I like having the hyper smooth on, and a lot of people, you know, they turn it off and just have it like natural because, you know, your head is a you know, a stabilizer itself, but it still doesn't look good because I turn my head a lot when I'm vlogging and talking, and it's just, it does all this, you know, bouncing and moving and everything. So I feel that having the hyper smooth on is a lot better. But yeah, I think we're good. I don't think there's any issues using an ND filter with the hyper smooth. So those are my two things for upgrading, you know, you get better stabilization with the camera, not just for vlogging but for other uses. You know, if you're hand holding the camera and using it for things, GoPro does a really good job of stabilizing that. Like I said, you get the higher frame rates, which is pretty awesome, and you do get a screen on the front of the GoPro now, so you can better, you know, frame yourself if you're, you know, vlogging like selfie style, if you will. Now, are those, you know, new features really worth it to you? That's up to you, you know, if you want to spend extra money. But I do think overall it's a little bit better of a camera than things like the Hero 7 and the Hero 8. It does have a faster processor now. I don't know. What do you guys think? How does the footage look to you guys so far? Like I said before, I'm filming in 24 frames per second at 5.3K. And my opinion as well, if I'm going to buy a camera that has the option to use the highest resolution possible, I'm going to use it. Why not use it? You know what I'm saying? Some people buy cameras and they're like, you know, they have 4K. Oh, well, I don't want to use it. I'm still going to record in 10K, or excuse me, 1080. You know, just because they think it's going to be, you know, hard to edit or something like that because of the file sizes, or it's going to kill my battery faster. Yeah, it might kill your battery just, you know, a little bit faster because it's got to do all that processing. But the other thing is, well, you know, you don't have a big enough SD card for all the footage, you know, because the file sizes are going to be bigger. The difference between 4K and 5.3K are not different at all as far as file sizes go. It's very minimal. But I would just say, just if you're gonna go that route, just buy a bigger SD card. Now, I use a 64 gigabyte SD card, but I also plan my shoots. So like if I'm doing a first ride or something like that, video, I kind of know what I'm gonna film and I have enough space on my card. But if you're one of those to film and, you know, you just let the camera go and just get what you get, then you may want to opt to get a 128 gig or a 256 or something like that. Alright, so there's like one gripe that I have about this camera that is not like the Hero 7 when I had it. So the way that you plug in the connector for your mic adapter and stuff like that isn't the same. So on the 7 you used to just remove the door, you know, no problems, and you can just go about your business. On this camera, on the 10, the battery door is where also the connector is at, so it's all in the same spot. So if you remove the door, the battery is just exposed and it can just fall out. So you have to, you know, go on Amazon or somewhere like that and get a new battery door cover with the connector exposed. That way it just easily plugs in and your battery isn't just, you know, hanging out there in the wind. Not a huge deal, but just know if you're going to be vlogging with this camera that you may want to do that. And lastly, the lens cover is also different. It twists on this camera. Unlike the older camera, when you put ND filters and stuff like that on it, you would just get the press-on filters, and that's all you had to do. You can't do that with this. If you do get a new ND filter or anything like that, you have to completely remove the factory lens cover, twist it off, and then twist on the new one. But alright guys, I hope I covered some of the questions you may have, you know, as a motovlogger and stuff like that, if you're going to be using this camera while you're on your motorcycle. And you know, just help you in your decision, you know, whether to stay with something like a Hero 7 if that's what you're still using, or going ahead and upgrade to a you know, the newer model. I'm really digging the camera. I have more uses for it, you know, other than just using it on a motorcycle. I've also used it where I've placed it on a car or something like that and used it to get rolling shots of myself. You can do that because you can shoot it in a more linear profile, so it's not so wide and what's the word I'm looking for, distorted looking, you know what I'm saying, just because it's so wide. Well guys, I decided to come out when there was a lot of traffic on a Saturday afternoon. Kind of a bad idea to do a ride in the middle of the city, but hey, still showing you guys, you know, what this thing can do. So what I'm gonna do is, when we get to the cafe, I'm gonna switch over and show you guys what it looks like if you were just, you know, walking around vlogging with it in that fashion, and then also show you some of the frame rates in slow motion. Man, it is on and popping today. I came here during the week about a week or two ago, and there was like no one here. How you doing? Thanks. What's that? What's that?
How much is?
How much for this? Oh, I'm not sure. This is my friend's bike. Yeah, he let me borrow it. Yeah, so. Okay, so like I said, now I'm off the bike and I'm showing you guys what this camera looks like if you're using it kind of like in a selfie mode and you're vlogging with it. I took the ND filter off just so I can run the shutter speed in auto, and this is also the audio straight from the GoPro, so you guys can hear what the audio sounds like as well. So this is pretty cool. It's out here, all these bikes and stuff like that. But yeah, so you can, you know, the package that I bought comes with a little handle, like a little selfie stick. I think it's pretty cool. It turns into a tripod, but yeah. Alright guys, so I hope this video helped answer some of the questions you may have if you're looking to upgrade your old GoPro to a new GoPro. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe if you're liking what you see, and definitely give me a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.